Hey, all right, we're live here once again at the Jackie Jones Show here on In Your Head. That's right. So while you're here, give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, not the internet icon, but the bell icon, and you'll get all the notifications every time me and the OIB are live. It's good times here. Every Tuesday night, In Your Head, myself and the 1-inch biceps, and on here Wednesday nights following AEW Dynamite, the Jackie Jones Show. Come out here and review AEW. Join the Facebook page, send in questions, I'll answer them. Or be here in the chat room like my man Urias Tosh. He's always here. He's always prompt. First man to come. The first man to enter and the last man to leave. Urias Tosh. Jackie Jones Hall of Famer. There's In Your Head Hall of Famers. Urias Tosh is the first Jackie Jones Show Hall of Famer. Just announced it here. Groundbreaking episode of the show. So, it opens the show. This is the first Dynamite following Full Gear. You can listen to our Full Gear review over on In Your Head. I thought Full Gear was amazing. I thought Full Gear was the best pay-per-view, best pandemic pay-per-view. I thought it was great. I really thought it was only one match that I didn't think was great was the Nyla Rose match, and I didn't even hate it or anything. I just didn't think it was that good. But anyway, you can go and check that out. A lot of tremendous stuff on that show. So I was really looking forward to this show. Following the pay-per-view, you get, they'll start new feuds, continue storylines that they started. We'll see where it goes. Bam, opens up Taz calling out Darby Allen. Taz is a curious thing to me because I don't mind him as a manager so much. I'm not a fan of him on commentary. And when he does commentary, not only am I just not a fan of it, I think it really takes away from him as an effective manager because he's kind of calling back to the old ECW Taz where he's like the badass. And it's kind of a role reversal where in Team Taz, the original Team Taz, he had all the guys bringing him to the ring. And now he's not the guy wrestling. He's, the coach. He's the mentor. And so I kind of like that. It's a continuation of the old Taz of ECW. But then he's on commentary, and even sometimes even on the promos he does this, but especially on commentary, he's real goofball and real silly. And then it really detracts to me for when you're trying to take him as the serious manager role. And I'm fine with comedy and wrestling, don't get me wrong. But I think it's weird to have it such a contrast there. But anyway, he's calling out Darby Allen, who's sitting up in the seats. I like this. I'm a big fan of Darby Allen. I'm glad to see he's the TNT champ now. I know people get mad at he deserves it chance and stuff like that, but I think he deserves it and it's warranted because he's very over. I do agree, you don't put a belt on somebody just because they're a good guy or something. Hey, does he deserve something like that? But to me, someone deserves it as if they've gotten over and the crowd wants to see them there. So it's just a little. You don't want to put a belt on a guy just because they're a good dude. But anyway, Darby Allen up in seats. Brian Cage. So they call out. They say he's going to fight Matt Sydal. This is a standalone match. I would say it was good. The problem with it to me is you're building up to Brian Cage going for the title against Darby Allen. And this match is really to show that Brian Cage is a monster who will destroy a smaller, high-flying guy. And they had a really competitive match where Matt Sydal had a lot of offense, which in a match by itself in a vacuum is totally fine. Or if this was a feud, it would be totally fine. But and I like Sydal, but really in this match, he's the afterthought. It's all about Brian Cage to get him to the match with he's not ready for him, but you establish him as this, unbeatable monster for when he fights Darby Allen for the title, and Darby Allen's the ultimate underdog. So to have him in a competitive match with a smaller guy, I don't really understand the benefit there. I'm not as big on Cage as a lot of people are. I definitely don't think he's terrible or should be fired or anything like that, but he is very green. When he's fighting a smaller guy, it definitely works better. When he fought Hobbs, I thought it was pretty bad. I actually think he's a guy that should do a little less, and not because I think, he takes too many bumps or anything, but I think he's very athletic, but he tries to do a lot of stuff he's not particularly good at. And I think it'd be better if he worked a little bit more like Wardlow. Like, he could do some of the more athletic stuff, but Wardlow, I think, wrestles more as a traditional big guy. And Cage wrestles, as a big guy who's trying to do all the little guys' moves, and it doesn't always work for me. But, he looks cool. He doesn't have he has a presence standing there, but a lot of times when Taz is, cutting a promo, he just makes kind of goofy faces. He's just a really green guy. And again, I'm not saying he sucks by any means, but he needs to work on a lot of stuff. He's not really I know people are saying they should have put the title on him, but he's not ready for that. It wasn't so the match was fine. You could really see Cage also talking, either calling spots or talking about the spots throughout the match. That kind of thing bothers me. It takes you out of the match. But the finish was awesome. So he was Seidel was kind of going for the blockbuster, kind of Buff Bagwell used to. That's what these looked like, where he's kind of jumping off the rope, he's kind of going to give him like this. And Cage, well, this should be Cage, Brock Lesnar. Cage just catches him in midair in a vertical suplex position. That was pretty impressive. That was pretty awesome. So there's a lot of benefits to Cage, don't get me wrong, but so anyway, then Ricky Starks after the match starts talking, cutting the promo. I don't know what to think of Ricky Starks. Part of me likes him, and part of me is annoyed by him, but he's a heel, so maybe that's a positive. So then Cody Rhodes comes out, big entrance, coming off kind of really like a heel, which then leads into almost a thing where it seems like he's going to be the babyface, which is a little peculiar. But so this woman comes out, and I don't have the foggiest idea who she is. I don't know if I'm supposed to know. Even after I've seen everything, I don't know if I'm supposed to know. Do people know this woman from any? Is she connected to Shaq some way? Is she that his girlfriend, his wife? I don't have the foggiest idea. I think her name was Jamie Cardio or Jane Cardio. I don't know. They didn't repeat her name. I don't know who she is. And now she looks great, obviously. Awesome condition, really hot, but horrible promo. Really just terrible talker. She had the shit bomb, and then she kept making these references to Giant Killer, and I was lost. I didn't know where this was going. I think they assumed people knew on some level who she was. I didn't know. I think you should have got to the punchline sooner of who she's talking about, because I had no idea. And leading up to it, I was just confused. So I kept going about him being the Giant Killer, and then it's Shaq, which, that is a huge deal for AEW to bring in Shaq. Cody Rhodes versus Shaq. Have they really established Cody, though, as the Giant Killer? I know he beat Brody Lee. But anyway, I'm good with this as a potential feud. I think they could have found a better mouthpiece for Shaq, for sure. I have no idea who this woman is. And Brandy, who I'm normally not a fan of on promos. She actually I think it was Brandy's best promo. She came out just really mad, calling her a bitch. This was good stuff with Brandy. And I don't say it often, but Brandy was a good promo. She was stand up for a man, Cody. This led to Team Taz coming back out, Darby Allen coming in. So this is really a long segment of interaction of promos, which I kind of like, though. It gives a flow to the show. Darby Allen has a thumbtacks jacket on, which I'm sure Jim Cornette will go insane about, blow his brains out. But I thought it was pretty sweet, honestly. I'm a huge Darby Allen fan, so that was cool. Then Big Will Hobbs, who he took his sweet old time getting out there, Big Will Hobbs. So, in a way, the baby faces have three guys there. So, unless Taz is going to wrestle in the 6-man, I don't know. Next up, to me, was the match of the night. Better to me than the main event, which, maybe I'll be in the minority. I have no idea. But bunkhouse match. Blade and Butcher versus the Nightmare Family, or Nightmare Naturals, what they're Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, who has really grown on me. QT Marshall, uh, he's a good guy and a really good team. Dustin, I think, is the best shape in years, and I think you could have a main event run out of Dustin. To be honest, uh, just a tremendous, just a great, really bloody. Um, Physical, hardcore match. This is the kind of stuff I like. I know Inchman, it's odd. I didn't think he was anti-hardcore. I honestly think Inchman is kind of a Cornette puppet where anything Cornette says, he just repeats. But I'm half kidding. But I do think there's a lot of that. But yeah, I personally like hardcore matches when they're done well. People call them garbage matches, but to me, that's only if like the guys have no talent and they're just hitting themselves with stuff. But if they're talented, I mean, Mick Foley is one of my favorite wrestlers, and that's the kind of stuff he did. Yeah, awesome. Lots of great, great, plunder. I'll be honest, great blood. Blade, just the crimson mask. He had like dark red, bright red blood. It looked great. They knocked Bunny through the table. It was just good stuff. My favorite match of the night. And then you had and it built well to the finish, and you had QT and Dustin get the win. And this, a feud they've been building for a while. So yeah, it worked. Apparently there's some stuff wrong with YouTube, so this might shut off. But I'm recording it, so whenever you're watching this, I'm sorry for the live, but it's not just a channel; it's YouTube itself. So then we had the Inner Circle induction ceremony. Their music was pretty awesome when it came out. Are you ready to rock and roll with me? I don't know if this is a real song or not. I'm not really familiar, but it was like a classic. It sounded like a classic '80s metal, '80s hair band. I was into it. MJF did a poem for "Proud and Powerful." Apparently, he took it from Drake. I want to say. I don't know. I know you're surprised, but I'm not a big hip hop guy. I know I look it. So then, speaking of surprise, it was a surprise birthday party for Jericho. This was fun. I liked it. They're building, they're building up where Jericho's like, you guys got to accept MJF. That most of them, besides Hager, doesn't want MJF in the group. My opinion, I've been saying this ever since they even hinted at it, and I think a lot of people now are saying it. But look back in the archives. Jackie Jones was the first one to say this. It's going to lead to MJF is going to become the new leader of the Inner Circle. Jericho babyface run gives them all these new matchups. People sing along to a song. They want to love them. It works. Totally works for me. So Young Bucks hit a promo. They're the new tag champs, by the way. They're going to wrestle a team called Top Flight. I'm not familiar with them. I guess they wrestled on Dark. I don't know a lot about them. I should keep up with Dark. Sean Spears versus Scorpio Sky. I'm actually a fan of both these guys. And hey, what's going on here? I love AEW, but I do think sometimes they'll push certain guys, but then they take them off TV for a while, and then you don't see them for a bit, and then they're back on. So unfortunately, so they're kind of like start and stop pushes for both these guys. A lot of times it seems like they're really going heavy with Scorpio Sky, and then he's just not showcased at all for a while. And in the same way with Sean Spears, I think to a lesser degree, but he did have that really hard. So sorry, there's some problems here on YouTube. So anyway, the Sean Spears match. Sean Spears wins when Tully throws in like a piece of metal, and he puts it in the palm of his glove and hits him like this, which they didn't really bring attention to, but it was interesting because he didn't put it as a fist, which I think you can punch now in wrestling, so I don't know why you need to do that. But either way, I like it. It's kind of old school thing. I was really surprised, though, because I thought Scorpio Sky would win. But they did tease that he also threw it to Scorpio Sky. So I don't, is Scorpio Sky going to eventually join with Tully? We'll see. Maybe that could be the group. I could see that working, maybe Scorpio Sky with Tully. Kenny Omega. They go back to Dasha, who's supposed to be interviewing Kenny Omega, and apparently he ran off. So Alex Marvez runs him down out in the parking lot, and talks about their upcoming match. His match with for the title with Moxley. And then Red Velvet comes out, and they announce her from Yo Mama's Kitchen. No, that's not good for me. But anyway, she's with Brandy versus Ty Conti. Ty Conti, that's not a good name. That's like right out of NXT when they just pick these bizarre names. I thought, well, they did tease at the end. I thought they already joined the Dark Order, but they're teasing that they're with the Dark Order. I've got to be honest, like, I don't think this match was like horrible. It wasn't good either, but they're just like not ready for television yet. These both should be like if they had a developmental, maybe keep them on Dark till they're ready. It just I mean I think both of them have potential to to be fine, but they both have nice booties. Ty Conti's really nice booty. Inner Circle promo. This was fun. So apparently MJF is saying that he did text everyone that they were doing the thing, but Sammy said he only texted them up to the beach, so he wasn't there, but he still had the ticket for them all to fly to Vegas. I liked Jericho's line about old Vegas. He's like, you're probably in old Vegas playing Go Fish with Bill Apter. He said that to Alex Marvez. No, to Tony Schiavone, I think. Eddie Kingston promo says I've got to live with saying I quit, but I'll never stop and I will be champion. He looks like a tough guy, amazing promo guy. Looks like a tough guy when he's in street clothes. I love Eddie Kingston, but just wrestle in street clothes because he looks terrible in wrestling gear. I mean, you could see the big belly and he's not in good shape. But in the street clothes, I would not think he's got a belly at all. So, but the wrestling gear really showcases that. To me personally, I have no idea why this was a match. Fenix versus Penta. Like I understood the first time because it was a tournament. I didn't understand why there was a rematch. Like did either one get a title? There was no reason for it. It was just they're having a match because they know they can have a good match. And apparently, I know Al said in the Facebook that it did like a good buy rating, not buy rating, a good TV rating. But then that's not that's a good reason to do another match, but you have to have a storyline reason. You can't they just have a match for the main event. No, that didn't work for me. But match wise is good. Basically telling the story of Eddie breaking up the brothers. Again, you can tell that story, but there has to be a reason why these guys are fighting, I think. You should have, promised them something. Because why are they fighting each other? I know he's manipulating them, but how did he get them to do it? Like, why would they be fighting each other right now? And then afterwards, he's like, you don't need the dead weight. Both of them are ripping each other's masks off. He's saying you don't need the dead weight, trying to split up the team. Now came Pac. The Bastards. So that was cool. So they're going to do a feud probably to keep Lucha Bros together. That works for me. My only problem is, though, I would totally reverse the dynamics here because Eddie Kingston has really got over to me as a babyface because he has so much sympathy for him, and you really have the emotion knowing that he's given his whole life to wrestling. He wants to become champion. He's struggled on the indies. He retired. He came out, he's going to retire. He came out of retirement to continue his dream. Now he's finally in the big leagues. And then he had to say, I quit. There's like real emotion there. Total babyface. The fans would be totally behind this guy, I think, if, when they had the crowds there. And Pac is a natural heel. So instead of, this was almost a WWE thing to me because, like, they have a guy to me that the crowd wants to cheer, and they're going out of their way trying to make the crowd turn on him by him breaking up the the Lucha Bros. Instead of doing that, just run with it. They want, he's gotten him, all the stuff he said, he's gotten over it as a sympathetic character. Run with that. Pac's a natural heel. Run with that. So to me, it's just they really should flip flop the baby face and heel there. Besides that, I am into that feud. I don't know what happens, but that's part of the fun of watching wrestling or any storytelling is, to see where it plays out. So I thought it was a good show. Wasn't my favorite episode of Dynamite. I loved the bunkhouse match. I liked a lot of Darby Allen, build up stuff. The promo's terrible with Jane Cardio, I think her name is. That was pitiful. The women's match wasn't very good. Inner Circle stuff was fine. Shawn Spears, Scorpio Sky match was good. Nothing like blowaway or anything. I'm not as big probably in the Penta Fenix match as a lot of people are. They're probably, I'm not really into lucha stuff. Bunkhouse match was definitely the highlight for me. I'd probably say it's didn't live up probably to my expectations really of after the pay-per-view, but it's still an enjoyable show. So anyway, I'll be back next week, talk about AEW Dynamite, see what's going on. Maybe we'll see Shaq next week. And tune in Tuesday for In Your Head, and tomorrow night, Thursday, on Without Your Head, David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown from Terrifier and the upcoming Terrifier 2. All right, I am out of here. Good night, everyone.